Hi, I'm Marlo from Wild Food UK. I'm in Kent today. It's the 6th of October, and as you can see, I've got a smile on my face. And down here is the reason I've got a smile on my face. These are one of the mushrooms that every forager looks out for. They're a super tasty mushroom, and I've got lots of different stages of its growth here to show you, so this should be a good ID video. First of all, this is the first one that we actually saw down by the path a few feet away. And as you can see, it does its very best to just look like a bit of leaf when they grow like this, but this is slightly deformed. What we've got over here is what I would call a fairly perfect, mature chanterelle. Now, this is a bright yellow mushroom, as you can see. It should stand out from the forest floor, but there's so many yellow leaves around, it's actually quite difficult to spot. You don't normally find them quite as mature as this though, because they're one that most foragers recognise, and they'll pick them before they get too mature. So most of the time when you find a chanterelle, you'll find them looking a little bit more like these little fellas here. Perfectly edible, young or old, and very, very tasty. They've got a lovely sweet side to the flavour. You might well have eaten them in restaurants if you've never foraged for them. In restaurants in Britain, they call them Girolles. We call them the chanterelle, true chanterelle, Cantharellus cibarius. There are a few lookalikes for this mushroom, so if you're going to forage for chanterelles, you really need to know how to do it safely. There's a false chanterelle, and there's another mushroom called the jack-o'-lantern that superficially look very, very similar. There's a couple of key differences though, and this deformed one is actually going to allow me to show you one of its key differences slightly emphasized. Now you can see the gills on this mushroom have ended up very much like wrinkles or creases or folds rather than true gills. And even on these other mushrooms over here that haven't got deformed, again, you'll see that the gills are more like wrinkles than actual true gills on a normal mushroom. That's one of your key differences between these and the false imposters. Now, if I get one of the nice ones, I'll get one of the younger ones. Again, when they're younger, they're going to be brighter yellow. This one's slightly orange. But the key thing with the true chanterelle becomes evident when you cut them in half. The flesh on the inside of the true chanterelle is always white. The flesh on the inside of the false chanterelles will not be white. So if you've got a mushroom that looks like this, and the flesh on the inside isn't white, then it isn't a chanterelle. It's as simple as that. Leave it behind. But if you have got these, then you're in for a treat. They've got a wonderful mushroomy but slightly sweeter flavour. They've got, when raw, a slightly fruity smell. People say it reminds them of apricots, and I am getting mild hints of apricots off of this one, but you don't always get that. They don't smell like your shop-bought mushrooms though. They will smell a little bit fruitier. They're a really healthy mushroom as well. They're packed full of vitamin C, and they contain, I think, just about the most vitamin D of any mushroom that you're going to eat. So they're a great addition to any dinner table, and that's where most of these are going to go, because obviously, following the rules, we're going to leave a few behind. I've shown you it when it looks young. I've shown you it when it's in its prime. There are a few here that are past their best. This one, for example, you can see has started to go slightly darker orange as he's matured. Now, I've also seen them go much lighter when they've kind of been dried out by the sun. Those key differences though, the gills sort of folded and creasy, and the flesh being white, will always remain the same. So bear those in mind, and you should be able to go foraging for chanterelles safely. Their normal habitat, although there's not much around here right now, is very mossy ground. You can see we've got moss just down here. So at this time of year, when we're out looking for chanterelles, that's what we look for. Very, very mossy old woodland. And you normally find the chanterelles growing straight out of the moss. And when you find them at this size, In patches like this, you're a happy forager. So go out and find them for yourself. If you want to find out more about mushrooms, go to www.wildfooduk.com.